market replay. I downloaded the 2023 first year contract. Let's go with, do something way back. We don't get to really go back when we do our blind back testing, do we? Let's go with, this is that one, 710. That's a weird replay, isn't it? 71011. You shall not pass. Let's do the one before it. Yeah. What day was that? Day was that? That was in January, wasn't it? Couldn't have been the 7th. I think it was one of these three. Let's go with the 19th. It's my birthday. All right. 7th was a Saturday. I don't know if we'll be able to replay a Saturday. And we'll go to, and we'll start that. Yeah, we got to bring up a chart, don't we? How do you do this again? Thank you. Yeah, let's do that. And oh, no. Come on now. Gold and black. Gold and black. And we'll do that. Sure. And we'll have to go to, oh, that's actually not going to work at all, is it? If we're going to do that day, it's going to be this. Yes. Oh, is it? One sec. Edit. Chart. Sorry, the chart's not bringing anything up anyways. Every time I do this, I have to remind myself how exactly to do it. Yeah, I did that. Let's go automatic. I think that worked. 11,400. That sounds about right. Let's go with zoom in. See if that changes things. There we go. How about that? We're in business. Let's get this stuff off. No, we want those. We want these off. Voila. Cool. Everybody sees, I'm assuming. Cool. Okay, so we're not going to do traditional, right? Which means that we have the benefit of seeing everything that's going on here. So obviously a large spike up. This looks like it occurred in the morning, trading into this area. Cool. We've now broken below it. We have this range here, which we've kind of tapped into. Do we have? I bet you it doesn't, does it? In here. I like having the midpoint, but of course. Right, so we've tapped into this area of interest already. Cool. So should we get a 15-minute flip, we see that our lower time frame trend's doing this, right? Was doing that here, led to a spike up when we flipped, which did what? Mitigated the prior zone. So our 15-minute is doing this right now. Control before, I'll remember that, right? Our 15-minute from wherever that high was in the prior is doing this, right? So we have no reason yet to expect higher prices, right? We need to see failure lower, or we need to see an SMDR that's being built there in this mess, right? If we don't see that, then our expectation is lower because all we're doing is mitigating the prior zone and pushing strongly out of it. Okay. So now, should we get failure down here? Now we have a bit of a different scenario where this high is now weak, and now we're debating to see what sort of 1 minute order flow comes in. If we look at the 15, clear downtrend. We see the 15 minutes doing what? It's doing this, or was doing this, I should say, leading to rejection, higher time frame shove. We don't know whereabouts that higher time frame shove is going to. We're going to allow the 15-minute to potentially dictate to us because we don't have the benefit of that. Live trading, we would be able to speculate based off of SNDR and zones to the left. Here, it could be down at 11,200. It could be here. Who knows? Right? So we'll wait for failure to tell us when the 15-minute is ready to move up, which tells us that the higher time frame wants to trade where? Back into the prior zone. And then decide if it wants to go down or not. So from a swing trading perspective, we know, obviously, when you're swing trading, you want to be involved with what the higher time frame wants to do. Scalping, not so much. We have higher probability scalping with the trend, yes. But we know we can take longs and shorts in here and be fine. I wouldn't long in this because with a higher time frame now is direction. This is the biggest benefit of multi-time frame analysis, is that when this trend is done on the 15-minute chart, you're now having the awareness of staying out of trouble on this move here. You don't want to be caught going long when the higher time frame wants to shove down 500 points. That doesn't mean you're short, but those first payouts, that's staying out of trouble. That's all that is. There's no strategy that's going to make you get a first payout. It's going to revolve around staying out of trouble. Okay. So why are those gray? What am I doing here? Hey, we're in business. I'm a creature of habit. So we've got 15-minute candle. This looks lovely, right? We've got a little bit of lethargic type PA coming in here. This strong push down. We've now got those are backwards. Why does NinjaTrader have down above up? Backwards nonsense. There we go. There you go. I should have left it there just to mess with your guys' psychology. Doesn't matter what the bars look like. Anyway, so we got our 15-minute cool. Let's Let's bring up a dome, or I guess we could do chart trader, couldn't we? Chart trader, playback. We'll do one, and let's go custom. And we'll do a stop loss. Let's go 20 points. Let's do major swing here. Stop loss. What's that? 80 ticks. Profit. Let's go 2 to 1, 160. You know what? Let's go 200. And we'll adjust it as we go. And we'll save this template as backtesting legends. Good. That's awesome, right? These bars should technically all be the same color and we should still be fine. Let's go down to 1 minute. All right. So in terms of areas of interest, we got this low here. I'm expecting that to be taken, so I'm not interested in long. Equivalently, we missed the short. That is what it is. I'm looking for a swing. Given how long this bearish trend has gone, we're looking for a swing moment. So let's see if we can get something going here. Play. We'll leave it on 2 times. We'll see what we got going here. At least to see what happens with this. Actually, you know what? Let's go a little bit further than that. Otherwise, we'll be here all day, won't we? And we'll zoom down as price is trading into this. Why is that our expectation? Because we're charging down. We're not creating structure. Is it creating an SNDR now? Yes, it is. Good observation. Right? What do we expect to happen to break this? Should that have been a failure? That's right. Is this really what you want to see right now when you're short for this? We've got sweeping under this candle. We've got decent bullish price action. Sweeping under this candle now. This is very dangerous for shorts. They need a strong reaction of this. What we got going on here? Let's go local. Right. So right now we have 1650 as our low. We'll see if we touch that again, or if we're going to create some sort of SMDR here, break, trade back in, that will be our swing. With this now being a weak high. Beautiful. Everybody on board? Or do you guys see something else? It did. It did. This is what I see. That's right. Right. So what we're looking at primarily, right, is this a 1 minute shove? No, it's not. How do you know the 1 minute isn't in control of this? Or it's not 1 minute time frame pushing below here, and therefore we don't care about this body closure. No structure. That's right. No structure. If we had decent swings, we could, in theory, say it's either belongs to the 1 or the 5. Right. I wonder if this is my time and we're actually well above the open. How much volatility we got in this? Wouldn't that be funny? I might have already zoomed ahead the majority of this day. I think I did. We might have to do a second one for us. Good. Regardless of time, that's hilarious. If it is. I'm just looking at this 60-point move in the last 20 minutes. Let's find out. You guys feel free to call it if you're long already, and that's your guys's strategy and risk level. Ballsy. If we're going to manipulate, this is how it would do it. Hopefully you guys didn't get stopped out on that. This is what you're now looking for. Right? So hit the button. Sure. Now, this initial entry is a scalp until we break this high, and then we get our change in order flow. We're going to treat this as a swing. If we were long for a scalp, our stop would already be below here. This is an awful entry for a scalp. Forgive me for that, for being 5 times. We're looking at this from a swing trading perspective. So I want to play out what the price action looks like. And the reason that I'm so interested in this is because I see a lot of chatter in the room on needing that entry to be precise. And that's true to an extent, is that we don't want to take a scalp entry here for the last few points. Right? But the price action that's occurring and the narrative associated with it is far more important. Yes. So essentially right now, what we're looking at is, if we're right, we probably don't want to take the scalp, or at the bare minimum, we're expecting to have at least 2 trades out of this. First one being, should trade above this candle, 324. Right? We're looking for failure here. And if we're right, we trade above this high. And then we get what? This. So we'll have 1 entry here, sure, for that moment, if we're right. And then we're looking for something to get us involved, tap back in, which is where I'm going to enter. And that will function as what you guys are looking at for your second entry scalp. If we're wrong, we fail above here and we see strong rejection down. The reason I waited for this sweep is because I need to see something occur in this candle. We had a bear bar. I was expecting lower prices. Right. So we've already taken this candle. We're not stopping here. That's a very good sign. We've got this here. Let's pause for a sec. So body closure underneath on the 15, sweeping below. We should trade at least above 37 here based off of what this candle is doing. Strong movement. Right? Ideally, we want to see a sweep of this candle here at 15. That would be extremely strong for a higher time frame move. That doesn't invalidate the trade, but it means that our swing of trading up to this high, it's funny how the sell limit's actually already there. But this is actually not part of structure. So from a swing trading perspective, we want to see what happens above 36.50. If we fail in here, which we're expecting to trade back in, we then have to monitor that down leg to be a retracement. And if it is, then we go higher. If we fail here and go lower, then we need to make sure that it's a retracement and not a strong push down, as we actually did get a body closure here, right? The reason I'm expecting it being terminus is how late we are in our trend. We're starting to see large institutional sponsorship. We don't know if this is a higher time frame point of interest, so we're going to have to just read the right side of the chart. As it stands right now with this swing, this is your swing, this is your scalp right here, 36.50. Right? And potential higher time frame formation. That's right. So those of you guys that are building your accounts, how you do it is you take that low hanging fruit trade, right? So we're seeing failure. We've got our CRT come with us. We've now got this high. Where's our easy objective? We've got this candle. That's weak. Cool. We've also got this. It's not part of structure. We expect it to get swept. If we get a body closure above here, then we've actually broken structure. And now we're looking to target the next objective, which in this case would be the protected high. Okay. Everybody with me so far, or am I bouncing all over the place? Awesome. The nice part about Zoom is that the recordings are already done. So I could just upload this right to YouTube after we're finished. The imbalance would have made me wait, though. These bearish imbalances are designed to get ran. Similarly to how we view SNDR at the bottom of a range is expected to get wrecked. Right? Some imbalances are formed to get long off of. Some are not. Consider this one here. Would you have gone long off of this imbalance? Right? Or was it designed? Right? That's right. Exactly. Let's see what we got here. Right? So that's what our eyes are on right now. We're expecting a potential SNDR to be built in here. And if it does, then awesome sauce. Right? Then we'll take another manipulation add in here. But I need to see the market attempt to sell off and fail. That's the only way I add to positions. Right? Consider adds in here. Right? This, again, would be high risk as our move hasn't confirmed yet. The lower time frame structure has, yes. Right? That's strong. Cool. I'm expecting a little bit more. There it goes. We got this low here. Should we fail it, then I will add. Right? So looking at the open of this candle, 2250. $25.50. Thank you, Ninja Trader. Right? Now, I really don't want to see this taken. Now, you guys will have different ways of managing and dealing with your movements. Some of you may take one off of here and now you have a risk-free trade. In reality, I'm treating this as we're in from around here from our ad. I'm not concerned about this. This is actually potentially another adding opportunity. This is surprising, but I'm not in this for each individual tick. We finally mitigated this area lower. In fact, that was another gift. I'm not going to buy here, but if it actually trades below to 1915, gives it to us again, then I'll add more. Right? We don't have confirmation yet. No, what we're doing is we're building an SNDR in here, failing lower. We have not manipulated higher, which is the key piece of information, this downtrend. What we're doing is we're enticing everybody to get short as the market exchanges shorts for longs. In fact, if it goes any lower, I'm going to add again because this is just perfect. Thank you very much. Very kind. Right? I'm looking at this. I'm looking at lethargic movement in here. Creating an SNDR, breaks the low, trades immediately back in, and now we're failing in here. I'll take one off here because I have 3 contracts, and that's usually more size. But this is exactly what we want to see right now. Right? Should we have manipulated higher or failed at this high? Then we have a different decision to make. Right? As you guys know, we look at failure. Where are we failing right now? We're failing lower. We're failing lower. We're now defending it now. Right? So for scalping, we look at below candles, right? Little scalps that come in, little sweeps, whatever. For swing trading, you want to be on the right side of the trend. We're not looking at that sort of movement. That can improve our position where we're saying, okay, we're failing below here or whatever, adding opportunities, right? Your first trade was likely this scalp here. You're looking for a break and a trade back in. The problem with that is that looks like we're going to, okay, so let's take one off here. Cool. Right. I'm not going to put it below here because there's a possibility of trading back in, liquidating them. Right. But looks like we're way to the races, especially if we close up here. Now, adding opportunity would be the trade back into this SMDR that we expected to break this SMDR. How good does our narrative look right now? Probably pretty good. The market is now confirming to us that we're on the right side. Happy days. Right? Where's our speed bump? We had this strong move up, consolidation here. Cool. Where's our 15-minute high that's protected? It's that one here. Right? So if we zoom out, as you guys observed earlier, this high had a confirmed low. Why is that important versus having a wick here? It's important because should we trade close to this high now, we'll trade away from it. If this was a failure, we would expect to run it pretty quickly. This will be different. So we look at whereabouts close to this high we have to run into. We've got this consolidation here. Let's draw it out. This is how you refine. It's almost like the algos communicating to the other hedge funds where we're going. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Does this number make you guys nervous? Being up 23, 24, 25 points. Makes me want to take another off. Yeah. Being down that number, yes. Yeah. How many of you are itching to move this stop up to here? Would have moved it already. I would have done that many times. You guys would be following this up. If we were scalping, and we're paused now, if we were scalping, yes. And you're just looking to catch this scalp for as long as it'll take you, ideally up to this area, which you could just say, I'm out. And then we'll look to get in again. And that's fine. And I'll get to zooming out in a second and that question. Right. So we're looking at this. Ideally, we get this. And that's our 1 minute doing what? Trading up to here, to then trade lower, to then go higher. And that's our 15-minute. That's our 15-minute doing what it needs to do to break structure, creating an SNDR on the 15-minute chart. Right? MTA is the holy grail, if there ever was one. And you guys know how I hate that word or concept. Right? So this is an important concept I'm going to go over again. This high, I suppose technically in structure, I don't really know if that closed above or not. It looks like it didn't. Wouldn't create a valid pullback. Right? So this is technically a higher time frame move without structure of the 15. Technically. But I look at this as strong buying pressure. We expect this high to go, but we also closed underneath this candle. So we could suggest that it's a change in order flow high without being a valid swing, fair enough. But you'll find studying this that when you get strong price movement, this high becomes very, very important for the bearish cause, and we expect it to be defended. By that token, I suppose discretionarily, we expect it to be part of structure, even though technically it's not. I look at this as a swing. It's not a valid pullback for those of you guys that have studied DTFX, but I look at it as a swing because of how violently the market tried to rally from this move. Right? I don't really consider this a swing, right? This came down. I suppose you could say it is. This one, certainly. There was major effort there, which just got slammed. And then we see it go down. Right? Even if this gets annihilated and we don't close above here, I look at this as an attempt to rally. That's kind of where I differ from a little bit more structured market structure in a sense. Right? Is that we use swings identifying areas that aren't part of structure, but I also use it as expectations of where I expect the market to trade away from based off of what happened with this high. Not necessarily the body closure, but what happened with this high. This high delivered strong price movement down here, getting a body closure. Does that make sense to everybody, or am I explaining that very poorly? Say it again. So even if this candle had closed here and we had a quote unquote valid pullback, I treat this high the same way as we had a body closure here. And that to me makes this high very powerful, very strong for this price delivery. As a result, on this closure, regardless of this, I expect price to trade away from here, which was that consolidation in this move, which would then deliver us lower, ideally back down to here in that SNDR to then go higher, to take these objectives that aren't part of structure. I've got it here. We very well could trade above this high, right? I mean, we could look at the 4 hour, I suppose, but I doubt that it's, what's that? Lovely. Yeah. Just straight down. Let's get back to it. Right? So let's see what happens in here. Out of curiosity, would anybody hold for this movement? Let's say here to here, back down, and then this. Would you guys hold this position? Or would you add in here with this current position still on? Or would you take it off and then look for an entry here? Okay. 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 There's no wrong answer, but I am curious. Okay. Take the profit. We'll take the profit then. Should we get failure in here, and I'm denoting that by some sort of a sweep and we start to really leave this zone, the expectation of trading into here is a pullback. Everybody in here likes to take it off. All right. I'm asking mostly non-swing. That is true, Lisa. Wrong company for holding to. I'm either right or no. This is vicious. Looks like we're going to get our bit of a pullback as it is. Getting into the swingers club. I know. Should see the chat. Take it off. Okay. Rowdy for a Sunday morning. Inducement. Okay. Do we expect body closure on this candle? The answer is yes. Why? Creating a swing. Mm-hmm. Where do we expect the pullback to go to? Mm, 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 mm. Correct. 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 You guys know all this stuff. You guys got it. You're seeing it. Right. 4250 key level. If we trade back into this zone, we are expecting strong movement from this area here, 42 to 44. Right. Which is inducing everybody short term to be buying without hitting the area yet. So you got inducement on a higher time frame. You've now got a little bit of lower time frame inducement before we run them out. But we're happy days. We're in our swing. In order for the market to prove me wrong, I need to see failure above a key high here. Anything other than that, I don't take my swing off. Unless I'm growing accounts, in fairness. Like the new Top Step ones or whatever. Right? Those are you guys that won your TPT evaluations and got funded. This is essentially what you're doing. And if this is too much emotion, then you're trading with too much size. This is vicious. Didn't trade back in. No area to enter long, but shorts are about to get wrecked here. And you can almost feel, try and feel when you expect them to give up. And then we'll zoom it ahead a little bit. Remember, this is 2 times. So you guys are in some intense training here. We nervous? I'll probably look and see what happens if we sweep this. I like that we're accelerating, but this was our area of interest. I don't like that we didn't trade back down to mitigate that. Should we get a little greedy? What do you think? Have some fun? No, let's go here. Would you trail your stop below valid lows if swing trading? No, no. Protected lows. Protected lows. SNDR sweep, trade back into the range. Definitely break even now. Definitely break even now.
Target filled.
Oh, there we are. Thank you. Now, we've got our zone here. Got this here. That's gross. Remove, 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 remove. No OT eats here. Let's do it a little bit further. Visible, visible. See what we get in here. Oh, probably a bit too soon, but just trading back into the range, sweeping a key area of interest. The only reason, well, not the only reason, one of the other main reasons I took this was because we're expecting to trade back into here. Should we not see failure, or sorry, should we see failure in here, then this will be the swing position with our stop below protected low. But we need to see this area defended. Otherwise, right now, what we're targeting is this, which means that this short has got a higher time frame reason of trading back into here. It's also got a lower time frame reason of trading back into the prior swing. Clearly, I'm out way too early. Right, we're at our midpoint. Cool. Ambitious. Ambitious. There goes that liquidity. Cool. Okay. The reason I'm still on my hands isn't because this isn't valid for this zone, but I want to know what happens with this low because I'm expecting trade back into here, which we have not done yet. Now, if the price is too strong, likely in here, then that'll tell us. Right? If you guys are long from this, you've got your stops below here. Cool. Right? What I'm seeing right now is weak, strong, cool. Trading back in, see what happens with this candle. I don't really want to speed it up. Right? The idea is that we're getting a pullback here to go long. Yes, it'll go on both. It'll be for everybody. Right? You see how we're defending the open of this candle so far? That's short term. We need to see a body closure above here, and you guys are looking much better for your long here. I'm still waiting. That's better. Awesome. Did we get a closure? No, did we? Is that by a tick? I think it's the same level. Where's the data box? High of 45.25. Close of 45.25. Oh, dear me. Oh, dear me. Good. Building liquidity. Cool. Still haven't triggered me to go long yet. I would want a closure and then a tap back in. I like this, but right now this is the high. And that's much better. Let's go 5 point. That's an awful entry. I must get better on these. Right now, this is a scalp to take us back up to here. I'm still looking for a swing, which means I need a change in order flow, trade back in, and then we can go. I'm still looking for my swing down here. This is a scalp probably to, what are we, 39.50? So let's go there. Sure. All right. Might possibly trade a little bit higher. We'll see. But looking at this SMDR here. Why this area? Responsible for a strong one directional price. Right. And now, well, we're definitely break even on this. Whoop. Is this helpful, lads, or are we just kind of messing around, or how are you guys thinking? It's good. It's good. Right. So to reiterate, to try and drive this all home is if this gets stopped, it gets stopped, whatever. Let's get rid of that. Ooh, might stop us. Close. Close. So we've got our movement. Cool. We got our trade away. What happened down here? We had our change in order flow on the 15-minute. Awesome. Did we get that here? No, we did not. No, we did not. This looks a lot more conclusive, doesn't it? Than anything that happened prior to, which is why we're still expecting stronger movement. In order for us to do that, we've got
Target filled.
thank you. Right? In order for us to do that, we've essentially got this. Now, if we fail and defend this area here inside of our 1 minute structure, then we just go and we don't get our tap back in, at least not yet. Right? Because we know we have 1 minute SNDR, which is that down here, functioning as a change in order flow on our higher time frame. But what happens if we do this here? What becomes out of this area? Or this area specifically, if we continue to consolidate in here and defend? This consolidation in here becomes likely the SNDR on the 15-minute time frame that breaks this high. So as you've seen here, you'll now see here, should this continue trading higher, you've got your 15-minute SNDR, which we now expect to trade into. And we won't come down here because this high will break structure and then trade back into the SNDR that was responsible for it. And that's where you would see your long. Does everybody understand that multi-time frame analysis, SNDR stuff? It's very, very strong and very powerful. Okay. And that's how you kind of know when to expect. Like right now, I'm expecting this. Should we get defense in here, we're not trading to here. And that's fine. And then we have to be ready to go in here. What's our invalidation? If we decide that this is now going to do this, then we likely get a, well, even if we conclusively break below here, I would expect to trade back into this. Our invalidation would be a higher time frame directional shove that, yeah, probably a failure here would be necessary for us to have a higher time frame movement down. We would need to see some sort of failure after this because the institutional swapping has occurred down here. We expect that to continue unless there's failure here. If it looks like the higher time frame with no structure on the 15-minute is the low, not failure, where it trades low and then immediately trades back up on a higher time frame with a valid low on the 15-minute. Does that kind of answer your question as well, Mareed? RCK, if that's not clear as well, let me know. This is a very important price action delivery that we need to be aware of. Okay. So if we get rid of all this, right? Never mind our refined stuff. We look at this right here. Right? Right? We know that trends end at some point. Say this is a higher time frame movement. This is going to end at some point. Oh my God. Let's go with something that's going to stand out. Where's my red? There we are. This is our higher time frame chart. We have SNDR here, right? Let's say just for ease of, we've got that. And likewise with something down here, we would expect this to trade back into. In order for us to start the retracement, we need a change in order flow on our 15-minute time frame. Put that as red. Which starts the retracement back up. Right? We know that to be true. Right? So we have an SNDR here that's responsible for pushing us lower. We then break it, trade back in, and go. In this move, this is our 15-minute now. There's typically two ways this can happen. We either get the traditional movement like this, which is a higher time frame shove, or we get something similar to this. Where this functions as our SMDR. And then we get a tap back in from here, trading back down to this SMDR, and then we get a stronger move. Either way, we expect down here, at some point, this is going to retrace back up. Otherwise, we just go to zero. Equivalently, this high is going to eventually come back down. Otherwise, we just go on an infinite uptrend. This is how the market moves, right? Inside of this 15-minute maneuver, what do we have? Right? We've got our change in order flow that happens here on the 1, however that looks like. We then offer a retracement from here. Rarely do you get a change in order flow on this, right? We typically just kind of do something like this. And then in here, we change order flow again, creating our SNDR and break. Sometimes we just do this, and then we get our higher time frame movement. But on the 1 minute, we're changing order flow here, 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 retracement down, and then a 15-minute or stronger time frame move up. But our 1 minute is facilitating the spike, the pullback, and the spike on our 15-minute time frame, which is facilitating what the higher time frame needs to do. Because we know the higher time frame has to retrace. So let's put that into practice on this chart. We have strong movement, high, low on our higher time frame. Right? So in this case, we've got this. We don't know where this low is going to stop. It could go down here. It could have stopped here. But what we do know is when we see a change in order flow, especially one clearly like this, right? We expect at minimum this low to trade back up into here. At minimum, which we got. But now what we're seeing is structure forming on the 1. If that's defended, we've now traded into an imbalance, by the way, which is added. But we're expecting at some point this higher time frame delivery to reverse back up into its prior zone. that we haven't done yet. And now what we're looking at is on our lower time frames, changing that order flow to get back up in there. And then how do we get involved? Right? So we could be short this entire way until this high breaks. Right? We don't want to see the 5. I mean, I use the 1 minute and the 15 minute more than the 5. You certainly could. This looks very strong on the 5 minute. Right? We've now swept below this candle. Cool. If that's easier for you guys, then for sure. What I look at is how long into our downtrend are we? And that allows me to have a very high probability of when I'm expecting reversals to happen. Right? So should this fail, that's the expectation right now. So why is this area at the lows better than the reversal, better reversal than the ones below it? If we're going to retrace from here to this area where there's a lot of volume, then that would provide a strong opportunity to get long. But in order to do that, we need to break what's now a protected low on the 1 minute. Recall that with market structure, this swing does not need to trade back into here. Our expectation is that it does, but this is also still valid. This is also still valid. Right? And the reason is because if we don't mitigate down here, what we're doing is we're building in a 15-minute SNDR in here. Let's play it out a little bit and it might become a little bit more clear to you guys. Right? Assuming I'm right, that is. You know, I'm certainly not right all the time. Right? So the invalidation point would be failure higher, which we need failure higher right now because we're strongly bullish. We need some sort of signal that this is going to end. Right? This was kind of a almost 1 or 2-legged retracement to this area. This is a bit different. We're building structure now. That's why we need to see failure versus here that kind of tapped in and then just location shorted down. So our expectation is that high. Did that answer your question, Lisa, by the way, or is that muddling things? Let's speed this up and see whereabouts this goes to. If this just goes through now from the change in order flow, or if we get our trade back into here, or failure underneath this. Okay. So expectation right now is probably to trade back up into this. We'll see if we get a trade into here, which is what this bounced into. I still don't like that we haven't touched this. We're zooming it a little bit ahead because we're already at an hour and a half. You guys, it's Sunday. Strong movement, strong buying. Right, so as above, then below. Still wild. This is dangerous for both, but leaning towards the bullish side. Do we miss it? Do you see how our expectation is a rocket ship and we're getting far from that? See if we take this low. If we start to see sweep and fail of maybe this low or this one, this is more aggressive, but I need to see if this protected low is going to get held or not. If we take liquidity, then and fail, that's strong for me given the context. But I'm definitely not looking short into here. If it provides itself, then we go long. Otherwise, I'm looking to see if this area is going to hold. What do we got? 39.75. Does that equal lows? 40. 40. Oh, two lows at 40. Okay. That would be nice liquidity being built. Let's see if we get sweep failure into either of these. The two options are this protected low holds and we create SNDR here, or we trade into this, or we trade higher and fail, and then we're looking short for lower. Doesn't? How about that? You can tell that I only use NinjaTrader for the dome. Yeah, slow down. If it trades up to this candle, I'm probably in. $43.50. Ballsy. Ballsy Niznos. Right. The expectation is still here unless we get failure here. But I need to make sure that I'm right about failure. And if we're right, this goes on a rocket ship. Right. Now, change in order flow, trade back in, I would add. And I'm looking for this high. All right. This is still aggressive, but it's predicated upon the failure here, sweeping liquidity. You could argue this low is weak. So we're not out of the woods yet. Let's speed this up. Let's see if we're wrong or not. Hmm? Definitely early. Probably should have waited for that to get swept, in fairness. High of 46. Let's see what we got. That low is 32.75. That stop wasn't even right. 34.50. Beautiful. Strong closure. Tap back in. I will add to this. That first entry was obviously not exactly where it should have been. The stop, instead of allowing it to run, was underneath the protected low. And this is what you want to see. You want to see expansion, like we're done. Versus if we're going to fail and continue lower, then we're trading into here, which is where my high conviction short would have been. Right? Those of you guys that love your SBS, this is, well, you might get something back in here. We'll see. It does. It does. Right. So certainly looking for this high first. $71. No opportunity to add in here, at least thus far. We'll see what we get.
Target filled.
Thank you. Right. And now where's our area of interest? Just here. Right. Low hanging fruit. Cool. Yeah, random how it took it by a couple points. This area was mitigated, so the only place it had to go was this high. Should we have expected lower prices, we might have considered this one and left that high as part of structure. You'll notice we actually took out this low, which is where the entry should have been. So it was poor by me. Right direction, but early. Right? Would I look to refine this SNDR? I mean, you could. Something in here that tapped into, cool. Right? Be interesting to see what happens here. My guess is we tap back in, maybe a little bit further. Maybe at the midpoint here, 50. And then we continue higher. Right? You get your midpoint. Well, midpoint's kind of here, but again, I'm more looking at this area here. Then 50-minute SNDR is formed now. Yes. Well, yeah, I would have rather a body closure up here. I don't think we really got that. Our 15-minute is still catching up. But I think we can all agree that this is now we want to see for continuation lower. We're taking these highs. Technically, we want body closures, but given this PA, this to me is an SNDR now. Yes, 100%. Right. So what we got for this high? 50-50, 51. Guessing the midpoint's around 47-ish. Cool. That's lovely. Violent though. We got for a low here now. 51.25. That's probably a missed trade. If we trade above here, then I'm actually, you know what? Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Well, gotta go when we see it. Gotta go. Sweeping inside, strong area of interest, taking liquidity now. Right. Expectation is definitely these highs at 71 here. Should we extend this? We probably take the highs and then we come back into this area. So I'm going to take my swing trade here. Really? Come on, lads. Don't do this to me. That's well defended. Cool.
Target filled.
Thank you. The reason I'm looking for a second trade out of here is because it's a higher time from SNDR. I actually expect this low to go. Right? You've got your lower time from SNDR here that was responsible for things now. Right? So our two options are we get a movement from wherever it decides to, if it decides at all. Right? We've taken this high now. Cool. We've got the midpoint of this zone, I think. Should we trade back in and liquidate this? That would be A plus plus plus. If we get a change in order flow onto this lower time frame SMDR, something like this, without liquidating, that would lead to a large move as well. This is very clean PA. So it makes me look good, I suppose. Yeah, man. 38-minute fair value gap. Where is it? Right. These days, typically I trade very, very, very well. These are my kind of days, actually. What day was this? 19th of January? Cool. Right. Days where there's, it's not one directional, just movement, right? Like this sort of PA with chop and then continuation. Those I typically find a little bit more challenging. This has got nice two-way movement where it allows me to get in for mid-range scalps. I should still be in from this. Yeah, healthy structure, fair enough, right? But we have to be ready for both. Right. So it looks like we're not going to be trading into here based off of what happened here and now defense of that. Change in order flow in here, and that will be a swing for me where I'm now looking probably higher 417s. See if we get it. Right. So lows here, cool. Challenging. Did I really just miss that? They didn't really give us a nice entry in. But this is gonna fly. This is gonna fly. Ooh, she's really gonna fly. Well, that sucks. That sucks a lot. Get back in here for us. Somewhere where I can risk off effectively. Yes, we have equal lows, but context, trading back in and expansionary now. Retail would be going long right here with a stop here, and they're going to make a lot of money. I can't justify it. If I get some sort of failure weakness, then fine for a scalp, but this is not my jam. Ooh, get back in there. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. No, I gotta go. I gotta go. And if I get wrecked, I get wrecked. Right. But this is too much. This is too much. Do not do this at home. We got here 73.25, and we're in from 80.50. Yeah, so that's right. Okay. If I get wrecked here, I deserve to get wrecked. I probably wouldn't want to see failure above this. We'll see. Mm, mm. Possible that it comes down to this, which would suck. But expecting expansionary, we've already dealt with this now. At least for the interim. How good is our 15-minute look now? Right. So what we're doing with MTA is we're kind of speculating what we expect the future to look like, in a sense, right? Look at this nonsense. Speaking of, right? So lethargic movement down. If the higher time frame is going to retrace, what does that look like? Right? We get trade back up into here. We've already kind of done that, but not really.
Target filled.
Thank you. Right. Possibility of trading back into here, probably taking this candle, but that'll be after we see what? Some sort of change in order flow at the top, after we've taken our objective. Let's see. Let's go 10x. We've got this. We've got that high there, which is an expectation. If we're going to do that, we likely get a retracement back down, possibly. I'm not interested in shorting. I don't care if that goes down to 350. Right? We've got this little area of interest now. That's possible. And you're just following your SNDR in the way up until you've achieved what your 15-minute objective is, or your higher time frame objective is. Which sounds simplistic, but quite often the best truths in trading often are. And we tend to make things a lot more complicated. Right? It's not like the meditation that I did this morning with Stoicism was Marcus Aurelius talking about unnecessary actions that occur. And quite often I see a lot of things like that, that you get little things in the outside of trading that we take with us that make us better people, which then make us better traders by default. Now, there's a lot of actions that we take that there's a scalp along for you guys. Let's go. Why not? Why not? See if we sweep it or not. Right? It's not just unnecessary action. It's unnecessary thoughts that we have to be on guard for, which then lead to unnecessary actions. I probably should have taken that off. Right? So be on guard for unnecessary thoughts when you're looking and trading. What's the market doing? What's it attempting to do? What's it failing to do? Just failed to make this low. I added to my position. I'm now looking for this high. If I'm wrong, then I'm going to cut this out pretty quick. I very well could be. Right? I'm playing on 10 times speed. And I'm wrong. Probably could have taken it off in here when we started seeing failure and selling pressure. Right? How about get on that? In reality, I probably should be swinging this a little bit less tight than what that is. Right? Don't want to see failure here. So possible that we'll build an SNDR into here from here, or we just rock it through. Either way is fine. I think we can all agree with the trades we took today. We're fine not having 100% win rate. Although that was kind of nonsense while I was spooling on my soapbox. Right? Unnecessary thoughts lead to unnecessary action. Is it not much easier to identify the change in order flow and trade long all the way up this than trying to catch shorts?
Target filled.
Trying to catch shorts, regardless of how they would pay. Up and up and up and up and up. Probably could have held to this. Probably could have held to this. We got here. January. We'll call this here. I'm just going to grab what our analytics were. Not too shabby. Not too shabby for a day of trading for us, eh? Not too shabby. All right. I'll 10 o'clock. I'll call the recording here for you guys. Let me know you guys' thoughts on this sort of thing. I know we don't do a lot of Ninja Trader. I don't know if you guys prefer it or not, but I'll get this recording posted as well, and reach out to me. Reach out to me if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, and all that fun stuff. Right. Thank you for spending your Sunday with us. Appreciate all of you guys, and let's kill it this week.